They scored F1. I don't know. The time I took a school start, although F9 was too far away from me, there was no way I could have moved in that direction. What I had was F9 that other people were getting. Obasanjo wanted to roast Atiku Abubakar like goat meat. I know a lot about...
The presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress continues to brew on Monday. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the APC flag bearer, during the party's rally in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, said he rescued Atiku Abubakar from Nigeria's former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, who he said wanted to roast Atiku like goat meat before he ran away to Dubai. But then when it was time for the election, Atiku returned to the country. Tinubu also boasted of making Atiku Abubakar Nigeria's Senate president and said the PDP has no mandate. Let's listen in before we take some reactions.
They have no mandate. What they have now ice cream. It melt quick. You get me? They are yeye people. Atiku, when we make him Senate president, Abba, you sell this, you sell that, assets, our commonwealth, our patrimony, everything that we have, we sell them, we become skeleton. Atiku no care.
As vice president.
As vice president.
Dr. Bati, over to you. Well, this has generated a lot of reactions. Should I take a reaction before I come to you?
Okay.
Should I do that? All right. Well, Olalaye wrote, Tinubu commits yet another blunder. He said when we made Atiku Senate president, number one, Atiku was never the Senate president. Number two, at what point was Tinubu part of any process that made Atiku the vice president of Nigeria? Red flag. Well, if we make Tinubu president, the cabal will be more in charge than ever. Dr. Bati?
Well, I saw this on social media.
Yeah.
You know, many persons have commented on it, and I think the point has been made out there that Atiku Abubakar was never Senate president. He was vice president. And in any case, at the time that Atiku Abubakar was vice president, he and Atiku Abubakar were not in the same political party. So even if what he meant was vice president, you know, he was not in a position to make him vice president. But he said Senate president. And that's why people are, you know, a bit scandalized. And then he went further also. I saw another report saying, he was saying they scored F1. I don't know. The time I took a school start, although F9 was too far away from me, there was no way I could have moved in that direction. What I had was F9 that other people were getting. So, I mean, that again, you know, will be considered ridiculous by people who are very familiar with F9, that category of grading in WAS, you know. So, but in any case, the funny part of it is that he made a third point that Obasanjo wanted to roast Atiku Abubakar like goat meat. I know a lot about President Obasanjo, but I'm not aware that suya is part of his you know, preferred delicacies, you know, because it's people who like suya, who roast goat meat. However,
yes,
there has been a very robust response from the PDP. A statement by Frank Shaibu, which I thought was rather aggressive and irreverent. You know, Frank Shaibu was on this program, and I told him that, look, the kind of verbal violence that oozes out of his pen is a bit, you know, on the extreme side. He was advising Nigerians that they should be careful, that a presidential candidate who does not even know a person's antecedents, his opponent's antecedents, or the difference between F9 and F1, should not be allowed to go and turn Aso Villa into a sanatorium or a mental health institution. And I thought that was a bit on the irreverent side, you know. So even when the PDP spokespersons are responding to this, you know, they should moderate, you know, their speech in line with the provisions of the law. In fact, Frank Shaibu even counted the number of girls. He said there have been 12 so far from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I don't think I've taken up to 12.
Well, that's what Frank Shaibu said in his statement. Yeah. But all of this, you know, constitute distractions. But he made a point about the health of whoever wants to be president of Nigeria, so that we don't, according to him, I'm just quoting the response from PDP, that we don't send Mr. Sabinos to go and represent us at United Nations or clean that drunk to, you know, the United Nations. But all of that, you know, now that we're just about 24 days to the election, can we, you know, focus more on the issues?
I'll take Frank Shaibu's point there. We need a president who can represent us globally.
Yes. I mean, we need, and that's why we also need a president that we know his health records. Because a lot has happened in this country. And let's not forget that. A lot has happened in this country. I was having a sit down yesterday, and the person was taking me through the Yaradua days. You know, we can't afford to go through days like that any longer. We all saw what happened. Even when we had this administration, we all saw what happened. A president lived the country for over 100 days. Again, that's why I say political candidates should release their health records. In all fairness to him, yes, he said he was going to empower people in Akwa Ibom, that they should see the things he has done in Lagos, you know, that he pretty much made Lagos and all of that, which a lot of people have argued and tackled and said, you know what, no, Lagos has been a British Crown colony for so many years, you know, since the 1800s. In fact, it was at 1863, you had ordinances set up by the British colonial government then, you know, to map out streets on the island as we speak today. So Lagos had been many years ago. So he said he had done, you know, the Lekki Seaport, he had done rail, and he had, you know, all the political stuff. And he said he would give prosperity. He said he did the Lekki Seaport. And he will also do seaport for them. Then now to the gaffes. Let's not deceive ourselves. These gaffes are becoming unbearable. In the space of a week or two, Atiku Abubakar has assumed two different personalities. At first, I'm not sure you took that story. He first called Atiku Abubakar the governor of Anambra State.
I think, no, that actually was not correct. That was an edited video. It wasn't correct. Okay. Yes. So
it was, okay, it was not correct.
Correct.
Okay.
I had to research it.
Yeah, you had to research that. Good for correcting me. But that video also circulated, you know. Secondly, the constant gaffes, now calling Atiku Abubakar the Senate president before he was corrected. Also, the misalignment of historical evidence and facts. Like Dr. Abati pointed, they were both in opposing party. He was in the Alliance for Democracy and Atiku Abubakar was in the PDP. Then leading up to now saying, oh, they did a lot together and all of that. Yeah, they might have had political alliances, give it to them. But misrepresentation of history, claiming ownership for things that obviously you'll know that wasn't done, and all the gaffes, these are becoming one too many. And I just hope the Nigerian people are introspecting and looking deeply, and the candidates too will be good enough to share their medical record.